Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to walk through the quick construction steps for the pants from the summer pattern. The first time I saw this design, it was actually on the desk of Gary Fletcher. If you follow my channel, you may recall that I had the opportunity to purchase the Fletcher Pattern Company in 2008. I've learned a lot about sewing over the years, and in that time, the details that once were very frightening to me have become pretty commonplace. I hope this video helps you become more comfortable with things like tab pockets, belt loops, and the attached belt. Let's go ahead and get started. To get started with the construction of the pants from the summer pattern, we're going to take a quick look at the pattern pieces that are involved. We have the front of the pant, the back of the pant, the belt loop, the back waistband, front waistband, and the pocket. The first step as we get started for the construction is to sew the front sections together at the crotch seam. As noted on the pattern, you're going to sew from the raw edge to the dot as indicated, and then you're going to make sure to reinforce. With the center front crotch seam sewn, we're going to clip in towards that seam allowance and press that seam open. The next two steps involve the belt loop as well as the pockets. I have applied some fusible interfacing to the belt piece. I'm going to turn both long edges under 1/4 of an inch and give it a press and then top stitch. For the actual pants pockets, which there are two, I'm going to turn the edges under 1/4 of an inch and I'm going to place some fusible interfacing on the back to secure those folds, and then I'm going to top stitch those as well. With the top stitching of the belt loop done as well as on the pockets, we're going to take that belt loop piece and we're just going to fold it in half equally and cut it. And that's how we're going to form the two belt loops. Then we're going to refer back to our pattern piece, and this notch indicates where we're actually going to place the pockets. So you're going to place the wrong side of the pocket to the right side of the pants right at that dot, centering over both. We're going to base that in place, and then we're going to take each of those belt loop pieces and we're actually going to place it right sides together to the pant so that the exposed raw edge is on the upside, and we're going to sew that in the center of the pocket and base that in place as well. With the pockets and the belt loops basted in place, we'll grab the back of the pants section and sew the center back crotch seam. We'll clip in towards the center back seam and press the seam open. Grabbing our front and back waistband pieces, we'll clip in towards the curved edge of the lower piece of both the front and back waistband, place it right sides together to the front of the pants as well as the back, and sew the waistband in place. With our waist pieces in place, we'll take it over to the ironing board and press the seam allowance up. At this stage, if you desire, you could do some top stitching along that seam. Next, you'll grab the belt piece, fold it with right sides together, and sew along the long edge. My preference at this point is to do a round edge at one side to be the finished edge of the belt. With the belt piece sewn, I'm just going to trim down that seam allowance and turn the belt right side out, then give it a press. Since the belt is cut on a bias, you will notice there is a natural curvature to it, and you want that to coincide with the waist of the pants. After pressing the belt, you do have the opportunity to give it a quick top stitch before cutting it. You're going to place the belt over the front of the pants, and you'll notice where it's actually turning under. You want to make sure to leave enough on the finished edge side to go through the buckle when the belt is actually on the doll. So I'm estimating that that's probably going to be enough. I'm going to do the top stitching first, and then I'm going to cut the belt. When placing the belt, you do want to remember that you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance at the top of the waistband, so you want to make sure you place your belt low enough that you don't catch it in that seam. With the belt sewn in place, you're going to press your belt loops up and baste them at the top of the waistband. We're going to take the back of the pants, place it right sides together to the front of the pants, and sew the side seams. Again, we're checking that side seam and it seems to be good. So we're going to clip in towards that seam allowance and press the side seams open. From here, we're going to hem the bottom of the pants by turning them up a 1/4 inch and giving them a press. With the pants hemmed, we're going to place the pants right sides together and sew the inseam matching the center crotch seam. With the inseam sewn, we're going to clip in towards the seam allowance and then press that seam open and turn the pants right side out. We prepare the waistband lining by placing the front sections to the back and sewing the side seams. We'll press both of those seams open and turn the hem edge up a 1/4 inch and give it a press. With our pants turned and pressed, we're going to grab our waistband lining. I've already turned the edge up a 1/4 inch and given it a press, and now I'm going to place it right sides together to the pants, matching the side seams, and sew the waist seam. Remember at this stage that you do want to make sure that the belt is actually clear of that waist seam. So I'm going to take it out of the belt loop right now and just pin it down lower so that I don't catch it with the waist seam. From there, we're going to turn the waistband lining into the center of the pants. We're going to hand finish the folded edge to that seam, and then we're going to get a quick fit to our doll. To make sure that we have the right back opening folded under the correct amount, I'm going to get a quick fit to our doll before I actually attach that lining to the inside of the seam. Here's a quick fit to our doll, and I think the pants are fitting quite nicely. We see that the waistband is lining up well at the front, and that is with that folded back edge that we've already seen. When you look through the back of the pants, I think it looks pretty good. Might need a little bit more of a press right here. Fits well through the buns, which I really like. One thing to keep in mind when you're making pants is if you do plan on tucking something in, you don't want the waistband to be so tight that you can't actually snap the pants. This actual pattern comes with a blouse, which can be worn tucked in or out, so keep that in mind when you're positioning your snaps. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and sew the lining to the seam as indicated, get the buckle placed onto the attached belt, and add the snaps. Before sewing that waistband lining to the inside of the seam, I am going to run a zigzag stitch along both raw edges of the front opening. After that, I'm going to fold the right back opening under and then press it under. That's one of two ways that you can actually finish it, but as long as you can't see it from the front, I think this makes a really clean finish. As you can see from the finished photographs on my Smart Doll, the pants turned out really well. The addition of the tab pockets and small buttons and also the attached belt with buckle makes some really nice details for our doll's outfit. Do keep in mind, as much as you can add detail to patterns, you can also take it away. This is an example of the same pants without the attached belt, tab pockets, or the belt loops. So if you're just getting started with sewing, you may want to use this design and start with a more basic or simple approach. The summer pattern is the latest pattern that I have available for the Smart Dolls, but this design is also available for several of the other fashion dolls that we feature on the website. As always, I thank you guys for your time in watching. If you have any questions, please list it in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.